Start with a dream and share it with some friends. The idea deepens and grows. The dream takes shape, it has form and substance. A community soon arose. A listening room, the hearing room. A place to find a home to play. A listening room, the hearing room. Express yourself and have your say. The walls are thin, and sirens blare. The tables sit near folding chairs. The stage is set with paint and glue, and love went into every screw. The light shine bright on every star. They come to play from near and far. The light shine bright on every star. They come to play from near and far. A listening room, the hearing room. A place to find a home to play. A listening room, the hearing room. Express yourself and have your say. Hearing room, a listening room. You're welcome here, so have no fear. The hearing room, the hearing room. Come in, my friend, where art can bloom. And welcome to the Woodshed Podcast. I'm Aaron Tornberg, and I'm here today with two very special people. This is my favorite band name, Folkapotamus. I think that's very creative, and maybe we'll talk a little about that later. But this is Penni Hart and Tony Trites. How are you doing, guys?
Doing great.
And so we'll talk in a minute. First, I want to talk about the hearing room and remind everybody about all the cool stuff we do here. We have stuff going on every day of the week. On Mondays, we do the podcast, and we usually do that here, but you can hear that online. So just check it out at our website, hearingroom.net. Tuesday nights, we have the open mic from 7 to 10 p.m. And Wednesday nights, we have Let's Have Words, which is a spoken word open mic, 7 to 10. And we also have on Thursday the Singin' Jam, that's 7 to 10 as well. So as you can see, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we have group events where you can come and jam with your fellow musicians. It's a very social time, and we have fun. So the Singin' Jam's particularly good. It's a lot of people, and it's putting words and chords on the screen. And if you are more in a popular music bent and you like jamming popular songs, that's a good place to go. They do a lot of that. With the open mics, it's a mix of original songs and some covers. And spoken word, obviously, is mostly original. Not always. And they often have a special guest there, too. Fridays, we're starting to do jams exclusively. And the Friday jams will be basically a different theme each week. And that'll be Friday nights at, I think we're going to do it at 7 to 10. But if you come at 8, that'll be perfectly okay, too. And then on Saturdays, we have other events like the Performance Lab, Drone Night, all kinds of cool things. And Sunday, we have the Drum Circle at 12:30 to 1:30, and my open mic, which is 2 to 5, which is really more of a song circle where everybody does one song a piece, and we sit in folding chairs, and we have a really relaxing Sunday afternoon. So all that's happening here at the Hearing Room. At hearingroom.net, you can find the details. You can also go to our Facebook page here at the Hearing Room on Facebook. And there's also there's all kinds of ways you can find out how to get involved at the hearing room. You can come talk to us, and we're right here at 119 Chelmsford at any event. And this is in Lowell. And if you want to come do that, as I said, the events that I mentioned, it's a good time to come speak with us and become a member, learn how to get involved with running the hearing room. We are a cooperative enterprise, a nonprofit, so it's a great place to come. I also want to thank the Greenville Junction Shop. That's the Greenville Junction Shop. And the reason I specified junk is because that's what they do. They take what used to be junk and they make it into beautiful household items you can use. Electronics, furniture, toasters. I think I saw a log splitter machine thing. I didn't know what it did, but it does something. And somebody somewhere probably wanted it. And there's all kinds of interesting things to see on the website, which... Well, I'm not sure when they're releasing the website. It's almost done. But they do have a Facebook page, and it's Greenville, Greenville, Junk, Junktion, Junction, Shoppy, Shoppe, Shoppy. So you can go to the Greenville Junction Shop on Facebook. You can take a look at their Facebook page, but also they have Facebook Marketplace. And they also do some very helpful things based on that I just did this, which is clean out your house. So if you need help cleaning out your house or garage, they will come help do that, and they'll help you get rid of some of the items that you really don't need. They've been sitting around too long anyway. You know you can get rid of them. So check out the Greenville Junction Shop. They can help you with all that. So I'm Aaron Tornberg, as you may know, and with me now is Tony Trites and Penny Hart, Folkapotamus. So we got to start with the name. So who wants to tell us?
Well, I will, because it was my idea, but I don't have an interesting story. I'm sorry. I just woke up one morning, and we had been bantering names back and forth for probably days, and Tony was really sick of me just, all of a sudden coming up with something. So I just woke up and I said, Folkapotamus. And he said, okay. Probably just out of boredom of hearing me
I don't think that's
think
true.
Of names. So.
I think it was, when we talked about it, it was a name that would bring a smile to people's faces and a name that people would remember. So we've had mixed reviews over the last 6-7 years.
Mostly positive.
Mostly positive.
Some people say that sounds like a children's band, and
no, I disagree.
So,
if it was a children's brand, it would be Hippopotamus, but it's Folkapotamus. That's an adult band, folk.
We agree.
Because you want to change the world. It's Folkapotamus.
That's right.
And makes you seem larger than life. Folkapotamus. So, what do you guys usually play? What kinds of stuff are we going to hear today?
It's usually pretty deep. I write a lot of sad songs, even though I'm a happy person, and we have some historical songs that we've written.
All right.
I think it's a lot of story songs. We don't. Everything is pretty much true that we sing about.
Right.
It's not made up stuff. It's all fact or stuff that we've lived through, life experiences, or sometimes it's life experiences of somebody else, but it's all true stuff.
Yeah, and Tony, for those of you who aren't sitting here, he's playing a Martin acoustic electric bass, which is pretty cool. And Penny is playing a Taylor. So nice equipment we're going to hear tonight. All good stuff. So let's talk about where you guys are from. Penny, where'd you originate?
I'm from Springfield, Illinois.
Oh, really?
Originally, yes.
Cool. I actually spent a little time in Chicago. It's a nice place. Springfield, can't say I've been there very often. But where is that in the state?
It's right in the middle. and it's the capital. It's about 200 miles from Chicago. Which direction, Tony? I'm not good. South of Chicago.
Yeah, well, there's pretty much nowhere else to go unless you're in Minnesota.
That's true.
But, yeah, that's cool. And so was there a music scene there?
There is now. There wasn't when I lived there too much. I started out just playing piano with a friend of my mom's who was a piano teacher, took me on when I was like 5 years old and started playing piano. But I didn't really get into music. I taught myself guitar in high school, but I didn't really get into music until I moved away. But now there's a pretty good music scene there because we go back there every summer.
Did you play? When you go back, do you play there?
Sometimes, yeah. We've played at a festival there, and yeah, we went to a couple open mics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. And so you grew up in Springfield and stayed there till you were in college, or until you got a job?
I was about 20, and then my dream was to move to California, and so I did that.
Yeah.
And I ended up in San Francisco.
Nice.
And then moved here.
What'd you do in San Francisco?
Different things. I went to school there, and then I ended up working at the Freight and Salvage, which is where I decided that I wanted to start playing my own music and writing songs, because that's pretty similar to like Club Passim in Cambridge here.
So Freight and Salvage, was that like just getting, I guess, buildings that are torn down and getting the stuff out? I mean, what was that?
I think it was originally some kind of a freight and salvage company, and somebody bought it and made it into a folk music club. And they've moved, I think, twice since then.
So they're actually not Freight and Salvage?
They're not, but
okay.
the name kind of stuck. And I might have that story wrong, but I think that's right. And they're in Berkeley, California. It's a really cool place.
All right, I'll have to check that out.
You should.
And what were your parents doing in Springfield? How'd they get there?
They were both born there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, people kind of stick around, I guess.
Yeah. What's the industry there? What do they do?
It's the capital, so there's all the state offices, and that's mostly what people do for work, and there's a lot of shopping now. It's just grown, so there's just a lot of malls and things like that.
Yeah, just like about anywhere else in the United States right now. That's cool. So, and when you were in San Francisco, did you do like street stuff too, or how was it like the music scene? Because I have this image of Haight-Ashbury in my head, so.
Well, that was probably back in the 60s or 70s.
Right.
But, it's a lot like the music scene here in, Cambridge. Mm-hmm. So I didn't really get into it too much until I started taking guitar lessons from someone who knew of the Freight and Salvage and told me about it. And so I really loved it there, and I started volunteering there. And then they hired me, and I was working there for a few years.
What'd you do there?
I served coffee mostly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
that was working there though?
It was working there.
Oh.
It was a part-time job, and everybody worked just a few days a week, and we just all loved the music, and that's why we worked there.
That's great.
So. And
were you a solo artist then?
I was, and I was terrified most of the time playing by myself.
Okay.
So, much happier playing with a partner.
Yeah. Especially when you like a lot.
Right.
Yeah. Most of the time.
A little bit.
Yeah. So, Tony, where do you originate?
I grew up in about 10 miles south of here in Woburn, Massachusetts.
Oh, so really far.
Yeah, really far.
And you grew up in Woburn. What did your family do?
My dad worked at the General Foods factory that made Jell-O right in Woburn. I worked there as well for a little bit.
Oh, really?
Third generation. Someone had been in my family since the 1950s that was working there. And It just recently closed about 5 years ago.
So is that where they like grind up bones for Jell-O? I mean, is that what they do?
Not quite that, but we can discuss that off the air.
Yeah, you don't want to hear some of the stories.
I mean, they're rendering what is gelatin is
It comes out of the skins of the animals.
oh, the skins.
The hides.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, okay, we won't talk anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not eating any Jell-O right now, so it's
No.
all right. If anybody's eating Jell-O, I apologize. So and so you worked there in high school and
I left Woburn and moved around a couple different places in the country working in the aviation industry, and then came back in 2004. Worked at the Jell-O plant for about 10 years, and then got back into the aviation industry for about the last 5 years.
yeah, what did that involve? Like are you a pilot or?
I am a pilot, but I'm not flying for a living. It was mostly in management positions, doing crew scheduling for most of my airline time, and then now I'm working in airport management.
So like at Logan?
Worcester.
Okay. And that's pretty cool. I went up in a Cessna one time with a friend of mine who was learning. He actually had his license and he could fly, but he was getting more hours and trying to finalize or whatever you do.
Yeah.
I know all about that.
I know that very well.
So did you start with like little planes or?
Yeah, I started flying when I was 15 years old. Mm-hmm. And as long as I've had money, I've been flying ever since. But,
How'd you do that? Like, that's expensive. It's hard to get into that because I remember I when I was in college, I was looking at it because I took the science of flight in school, which I was failing after 2 weeks because it was all physics and I didn't understand it. But yeah, I mean, it's like you got to get all these flight hours and you have to get time on the planes.
Right.
And if you don't own a plane, you got to rent. What are they? $120, I think they were last time I checked.
Now it's up around $140, depending on the aircraft, but anywhere from, I think $100 is probably the cheapest you'd find in New England, up to anywhere for $400 or $500 an hour, depending on the aircraft.
Yeah, and that doesn't include gas. That doesn't include anything.
Usually it does include, they give you a full tank.
Oh,
but
do
if you fly someplace where you have to fill up, you have to pay for whatever you use. They give you one full tank.
Okay. And so you flew small planes, or did you fly the big ones too?
Small, just small. I've consistently been working on trying to get my commercial rating, and hopefully that happens sometime in the near future.
Oh, so you're still trying to do the big planes?
Yeah, someday.
Wow. So what do you think of this Boeing thing where the planes are just failing and they pull them all down?
Well, I think it's a shame. I think it's really hurting the aviation industry. And I guess I'm a little biased towards aviation, but I think they've gotten a lot of unnecessary bad press. But I think in the end, Boeing will come out looking good.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to take a few more months for them to get all their ducks in a row and make sure everybody from the FAA is happy. And then their bigger task is going to be getting the pilots and the public to accept all the changes that have been made to the aircraft. So I think it's challenging. But just with the airlines, there's a lot of planes sitting on the ground that could have full amounts of, full loads of passengers going to places that
right.
It's kind of a shame that they're all just sitting there. The companies aren't making any money. It's hurting the industry right now.
Well, hopefully they come out of that.
I hope so.
But that's cool. And do you still fly little planes all the time? Because I guess if you're trying to get into the big ones, you got to keep flying, right?
I do. Yep. I'm flying out of Nashua Airport up in New Hampshire.
And how often do you have to do that?
I try to go a couple times a month.
Yeah.
Like I said, usually it's money's what limits the amount of time that I fly. So.
Oh yeah.
It's expensive.
And weather right now.
And weather this time of year.
So do you take up passengers?
I do.
Oh, well, everybody hear that listening? If you want to fly from Nashua to where? Woburn?
If there was an airport there, we could do that, but we could take you to Bedford and get you an Uber.
Okay. That's good. That's cool. I just went up the once, and it was interesting because you had to. It's all the calculations you have to do just to take off.
Oh yeah.
It's not, if you don't like math, you won't be a good pilot.
Yeah, there's definitely some math and science involved.
Yeah, it's really cool. All right. So, well, I think we've rambled a little. So, but it's very interesting. I like talking about flight. I'll tell you a story in a little while.
Sure.
But the thing we came here for is for you guys to play some music. So, what do you want to do first?
I think we're going to start with a song called Road to Nowheresville, and we usually start out any shows that we do with that song. It's one of my favorites, so we'll do that.
All right, let's hear it.
1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3. Out at 6 o'clock, the blacktop stretches long on the road once again to Nowheresville. Turn up the radio, where for once I can belong. See your face in that song that haunts me still. So Joe, won't you play that sad song again, the one that always makes me cry, where the rain is still falling, a broken heart is calling, and sweethearts are waving goodbye. Roll the windows down, let the cool breezes in, see your impish grin in the rear view. Our funny pothole streets, the roots intertwine and meet, and our dog's not been the same without you. So Joe, won't you play that sad song again, the one that always makes me cry, where the rain is still falling, a broken heart is calling, and sweethearts are waving goodbye. I can't set my heart on cruise when we should be breaking news. Why do you have to go and choose your first love? Turn up the radio, where for once I can belong. See your face in that song that haunts me still. So Joe, won't you play that sad song again, the one that always makes me cry, where the rain is still falling, a broken heart is calling, and sweethearts are waving goodbye.
Very nice. Pretty song.
Thank you.
So, what inspired that one?
A friend of ours who is a DJ in New Jersey, Joe Pizonic, and he was looking for someone to write a theme song for his show, which is called, don't let me get this wrong. Tony, help me out.
It was Radio Nowhere.
Radio Nowhere.
Oh, yeah?
It had nowhere in the title. And so I wrote that, and he liked it. And so he uses that as his closing theme song for his shows. And another person that wrote a song for his show was Zoe Mulford, who had one of her songs recorded by Joan Baez just on her last album. So that was pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what kind of show does he do? A folk show?
Folk, and he plays pretty much the first show he does on the weekend is called Eclectic. So he plays a lot of different kinds of music.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just got onto a show called Folk Music Notebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's more folk based. That just started 2 weeks ago, and we had a gig, so I haven't been able to hear the format, but I think it's pretty much similar to what he had been doing.
Is that what I heard about at NERFA? There was somebody doing something at NERFA that was like a folk music notebook. Would that have been him?
That's Ron Olesko has the folk
Oh,
music
that's
notebook.
what I thought.
Yeah.
And Joe, he just started doing his show on Folk Music Notebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So the way you got involved with music, I know Penny, you jumped in with both feet. It sounds like in San Francisco. Were you doing that in Springfield very much?
No, I wasn't. No, I played at a couple weddings, and that was about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't really start playing until I moved to California.
Yeah.
And I was a dancer first, and then I got into music after that.
Yeah. What kind of dance?
Jazz. I was in a jazz dance company in Los Angeles.
Oh yeah. What company? What's it called?
It was called Streamline Design Dance Company. They're no longer around. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Was that fun?
it was really fun. I miss it a lot.
So what do you do in a dance company? I mean, you obviously put on shows, but is there a theme with that kind of jazz dance troupe?
There can be. The things that we did were just different numbers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't usually have a theme now.
Did you choreograph or?
I didn't.
Yeah.
No, we had a choreographer.
Yeah, and so you just work with them and then put on the shows,
Right.
and so it was like a small group.
It was a small group.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you still dance?
No, unfortunately, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, because the hearing room could use a dance group, So start a new dance group. Come to the hearing room. You'll be cutting edge because we don't have one.
Maybe.
So you
Could be the
could.
dancing room.
Right. Well, you can hear dancing.
That's true.
If it's bad, there's a lot of clomping.
Yeah,
And
I
if-
still have my jazz shoes. Maybe we'll talk.
Yeah, tap dance. Tap dance. That's good too. Do you tap dance?
I don't.
Okay.
I did when I was a kid, but I don't tap dance.
Okay.
now.
Good, because we don't really have the floors for it. But actually, the floor here is probably nice to dance on, wouldn't it be?
It would
Because
be.
it's a wood floor. It's
Right.
probably springy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure about the stage, but the floor in here is good. And Tony, where did you start playing?
So I started my first instrument, saxophone, which I still play every now and again. I haven't in a little while, but I played all through high school playing saxophone, and I also took piano lessons in high school. Went to college. I played keyboards in some college bands. And then when I got out of college, a few guys that I used to play with were starting a band, and they said, "Hey, we need a bass player." And I said, "Well, I'll go buy one and learn how to play." And that's kind of taught myself bass. I mean, I had a good bass basics from learning piano, but I played bass in that band called Resonance. We played in all through the Boston area. We played at the Rathskeller and T.T. the Bear's Place in the Middle East, all kind of the big Boston clubs.
Mm-hmm.
And then I moved around with my aviation career. So I moved down to North Carolina, and I played saxophone in a ska band for a couple of years. We did some touring on the East Coast.
Right.
Moved up to Connecticut for another airline and worked, played in a cover band there for a couple of years. And then I moved down to Memphis was there for 3 years, and I played in a original rock band that did really well down there, as well as some blues bands, which was really cool, playing in some of the small clubs in Mississippi where like the original guys were playing.
Right.
Sometimes you'd hear a train rolling by on the outside, just like they used to do as the blues guys would go up through into Chicago. So it was kind of cool to have that on my resume.
So you get to crank the amps when the train goes by, yeah?
Yeah, it was a really good time down there.
So do you write songs as well?
Not so much. I've written a couple, but Penny's the main songwriter in the group. I think she has more of the talent for that. I write a lot of cheese, as I like to call it, really cheesy stuff. But
there's nothing wrong with occasional cheese.
No. Once in a while.
Yeah, unless you're lactose intolerant, and then that's a problem. But that's so. It sounds like you had a very eclectic kind of taste. You were from ska to rock to blues to. So, how'd you get into folk?
When I met Penny, she introduced. I've always been into acoustic music. I always liked on Sunday morning listening to like acoustic sunrise and stuff like that, and hearing some of like the rock artists do acoustic versions of the song I heard on the radio, and I'm like, wow, that's probably how they wrote it, like sitting around the tour bus with a couple acoustic guitars. So I feel like that was like where a lot of the electric songs came from, and I've always been interested in that. But when I met Penny, she introduced me to a whole new world of music that I had never really got into, and I've learned a lot over the last 15 years or so.
Yeah, well, it sounds good, so you're doing something right. And the bass is a great instrument to have, as a partner. That makes a lot of sense.
It is.
I've been toying with playing bass recently because, a lot of folk musicians could use one, but they don't have one, and some might realize that. Mm-hmm. So it's not a bad idea to take up bass like you did, especially with a nice Martin acoustic electric.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous of that bass. We will come off stage after we've played a show or something, and all the comments are, "Oh my God, that bass is so cool."
It is.
It's the only instrument I've ever bought sight unseen. I had seen these online, and it's all mahogany, so it's kind of rare. Martin only did 2 runs of this model, and just watching videos online, it's got a real warm sound, and I think it fits really well with what we do in Folkapotamus. Just nice, warm, loving sound.
And Vance Gilbert was the first person to play that bass.
Yeah, he played it. He played it before I got it because she had. We had a session with him, and Penny brought it because I was at work and I came right from work, and I wanted to be the first one to play it, but Vance jumped in and says, "No, I'm going to take a spin on that." He
grabbed it out of Tony's hands and let me play that bass.
That's cool. So when you started taking up bass, though, do you still play the saxophone and the keyboard and stuff like that occasionally, or?
Yeah, usually saxophone, not so much anymore. I was playing in a cover band in New Hampshire, and that was probably the last time I played it on a regular basis. And that was about 10 years ago now. Saxophone at the house is really loud. It scares our animals. So, but piano, I still go to that if I'm... Penny's the type of person that can just hear a song and automatically pick out all the harmonies. I can't do it. I have to go sit, and that's where I go on the piano, and usually we'll figure out the harmonies of what I should be singing, and the theory makes sense to me on piano where it doesn't. I don't have the control on my voice like she does to be able to say, "Oh, that's the note I want to hit." So that's how I usually figure some of that stuff out.
Cool. And Penny, how do you do songwriting when you know you're writing for a team? Like, does it change your approach?
No. Honestly, I don't really think about Tony when I'm writing because I know that he'll pick up whatever he needs to do with the song. Mm-hmm. we've written a few things together. I've asked him, what chord do you think should go with this? His theory in music is much better, where mine is kind of non-existent. So
it's nice to have somebody who can help you with that part.
Right.
My wife does that for me. So she actually has a master's in music, so she blows me away with theory.
Right, where he can sit down at the piano and pick something out. I can play the piano, but I have to read music. It takes me a long time to figure something out, just sitting down and listening to something. So, but he has that talent. So we work well together. We each have different things that we do well.
Mm-hmm. That's what makes a team work, right?
Yeah.
So let's hear another one of your songs.
Okay.
What do you like?
You want to do Calmer Waters?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just make sure this is in tune. We're going to do a song called Calmer Waters that was on our second album. It first hit me in the grocery store. Hold my place in line. I push that cart alone. Now I'm walking the aisles all by myself, making like I'm cooking for two. Almost reach for the Japanese bay light. Baby, a good drunk is overdue. Treading water in the stormy seas. Now the wake is over my head. I'll set my course for a distant shore, calmer waters on an even keel instead. Fog curls up on Delta sands. Julie sway where her bow should be. All the groceries in, set the alarm. 'Cause no one's coming in after me. Treading water in the stormy seas. Now the wake is over my head. I'll set my course for a distant shore, calmer waters on an even keel instead. Sailing towards a west coast sunset always seemed a safe bet until that boat capsized. Soon I'll wake to an eastern sunrise to save your hollow goodbyes, her reflections in your eyes. Treading water in the stormy seas. Now the wake is over my head. I'll set my course even feel instead. It first hit me in the grocery store that I am on my own. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That was great.
Thanks.
So, do you write every day, or how do you go about your process?
No, I kind of go in spurts when I have time, or when I'm in the mood, or I hear something, a story that I want to write about, or I'll just make notes, and then, yeah, I'm not very structured, I guess.
Well, sounds good.
Thanks.
And you like sad songs, it sounds like.
I do. I mean, that's what I grew up listening to. All my favorite songs were always really sad songs, so that's what I ended up writing.
So, was that because your family was playing a lot of that, or why did you?
No, it's just what I liked, I guess. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. What were your influences?
I love Carole King.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, she was one of my favorites. James Taylor, Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Typical folk type people.
Yeah, and Tony, you do you had some other influences. It sounds like.
Yeah, I'm kind of all over the place. As far as like rock music, U2 was probably my biggest influence.
Oh, U2?
Mm-hmm.
U2?
Yes.
Yeah, get it? I'm sorry, that was unnecessary.
But even my iPod now, you'll have anything from classical stuff all the way up to Tool.
I like Tool.
Yeah. So, one of my other big influence was Rush. The recent passing of Neil Peart was kind of a big blow to the rock community. And, I get a few musician friends that was one of their big influences. So this was kind of a dark day, that knowing that, you're not going to hear Neil Peart behind the kit anymore.
Yeah. And but they're a great band.
Oh, yeah, phenomenal.
I'm sure they'll continue, but it will be a little different.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And what's your favorite Rush song?
I don't know if I could pin it down to one, but I'd say pretty much the whole Moving Pictures album.
Mm-hmm.
That's what really drew me in, that album. Just every song is phenomenal.
And see, as a bass player, you got Geddy Lee to model after, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't attempt too much of his stuff just because it's advanced. But I really enjoy listening to it, and I learn a lot when I do listen to them. There's always something you pick up that you didn't hear the last time, especially in his playing. And just I've seen him live. I got to see him live about 6 times, and just every time I saw them, they got better than they were the time before, which, after a 40-year career is remarkable.
Yeah, I read an interview with them, and they said that they were writing songs they couldn't play yet when they started out. Like they heard it in their head but couldn't do it. So they had to learn the songs and figure out how to do it, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. They're a great band. Carole King, James Taylor, Penny is, of course, pretty standard. But on the other hand, they're pretty amazing to model as well. Right. Do you play any James Taylor covers, things like that?
I have a really hard time with his vocals. It's just in a totally different key, and so I can't sing any of his stuff. I did learn Fire and Rain with my guitar teacher years ago, so that was pretty exciting to be able to play that. But I don't think I even remember it. I did know the entire Tapestry album on piano when I was younger, because I love that.
Yeah, you should learn the James Taylor version of "You've Got a Friend," and then
I should.
And then you cover both of them. So you have, I guess we'll stop here for a minute, and I'll talk about the hearing room a little bit. But when we come back, we can talk a little more. Maybe think of a song you want to play when we come back.
All right.
And meanwhile, I want to step in here and talk about the hearing room. And I wanted to mention that we are doing a membership drive right now. And the membership drive is $100 a year to become a member. And to do that, you go to our website, and that's hearingroom.net. You can click on membership, and it takes you right to the page where you can become a member. You can also do it in person if you come to one of our events at the Hearing Room. So membership is a valuable thing to do because it keeps the Hearing Room alive. It's actually how we pay the bills. So if you do use the Hearing Room, you definitely should consider becoming a member. You get $5 off on our events. You also get a T-shirt and a membership card and the satisfaction of knowing that you're a part of this place, that you're making it what it is, that you are keeping it alive. And you can also do some volunteering and become a part of it that way. So the Hearing Room is a great place to come, as I've mentioned before. And maybe Tony, I think you should take one member up in a plane at some point. Maybe you should donate that to the Hearing Room, and we'll see about that. We'll talk about it later.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah,
anything to get me flying.
Yeah, if you can go up in a plane, maybe we'll take a drawing for all the members, and once a year, something like that.
Sounds good to me.
Now that we know a pilot. So, anyway, the Hearing Room has a website, as you know, hearingroom.net. You should go there to find out all our information about membership. And we also want to talk about the Greenville Junction Shop. That's Junction, the Greenville Junction Shoppe, Shoppe, is on Facebook, and they are an upcycling store. They take items that are no longer being used, and they make them available to you so you can continue their life a little longer. So if you want to be able to participate in that upcycling system, you can do that through the Greenville Junction Shop. That's Greenville, Junction, Shoppe. The Greenville Junction Shop is in Greenville, New Hampshire, and Clinton, Massachusetts. They also allow you to look at their stuff as well as Facebook, the Facebook Marketplace. They have items as well. And pretty soon they will have a website up where you can peruse things at your leisure. They also do garage cleanout and estate cleanout, all kinds of cool stuff. So check them out on Facebook, the Greenville Junction Shoppe. And we are here today with Tony Trites. I keep calling you Anthony because on Facebook okay. It says Anthony. So
that's fine.
Tony Trites and Penny Hart, who make up the group Folkapotamus. And I have told everybody that that's my favorite name of any group. I just want you to know. So my vote, as you were mentioning before, about mixed reviews, my review is way up on good. The positive. I think it's out of the park. So the Folkapotamus group, you guys are going to be playing at the Hearing Room coming up. And what day is that?
It's Friday, February 28th.
Yeah, so Friday, February 28th. And who are you playing with?
We are playing with Eric Kilburn.
Right. So Folkapotamus will be here with Eric Kilburn on February 28th at 8 p.m. You can get tickets in advance. They should be up on our website soon. So check that out, please. Folkapotamus on the 28th of February. And it'll be a great show. And just to prove that, we're going to do another song. So you guys ready?
I think so.
I think so.
I think you are.
So this is a brand new song. It's not on either one of our albums. This is called Writing My Song. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anniversary of my birth, walking through the neighborhood, everything covered in green dust. Hamilton and Bedford in my ears, voices so sweet and fierce, searching for the spark that had been lost. California was just a dream that became reality, from the southern sun to the fog like heavy cream. Wouldn't change it for all the world, golden feet for this starry-eyed girl. Ooh, I'm writing my song. Where have you gone, Mother Time? Where have you gone, Mother Time? Ooh, I'm writing my song. Ooh, I'm writing my song. Traveling to the heartland, how many more years will it be so? When they are gone, will I still go? Or never see my home again, that chapter coming to an end? Ooh, I'm writing my song. Where have you gone, Mother Time? Where have you gone, Mother Time? Ooh, I'm writing my song. Time passes like a dream upon the morn. Open your eyes, blink, and it's gone. Gravestones set in green fields, one by one I read their names. Just a child, ancient as the northern wind. Could it be that I've come home, full circle to the place I've always known? Ooh, I'm writing their songs. Where have you gone, Mother Time? Where have you gone, Mother Time? My song. Where have you gone, Mother Time? Where have you gone, Mother Time? Ooh, I'm writing my song. Ooh, I'm singing my song.
Thank you.
Very nice. So let's just go right into another one. Do you have something else on tap?
Sure, I'll let Tony pick what he wants to
All right.
play here.
Do you want to play our other new one?
Okay.
Penny, we got a couple that we're playing tonight that aren't on any CDs. The last one that you just heard, and this one that stemmed from one of the last times we went out to Springfield, Illinois, to see Penni. Penni.
I was going to say, you said Illinois. That's funny.
To see Penni's family.
Yeah. There's two of them, two Illinois.
That's what happens when you grow up in Boston.
Yeah.
So this song is about my grandmother, and she had a fur coat. And I always kind of say, and we've only played this out a couple times, but I always kind of say, like, I don't condone wearing fur, but it was a different time, and she had a fur coat, and it was a big deal because they were very poor, and my grandfather bought her a fur coat, and my mom now has it in the attic, so it's a good thing to write a song about, I guess.
I think so.
1, 2, 3, 4. Climbed up to the attic. There it hung for 30 years, all tucked away. The coat she'd always wanted. I'll get the light, I heard my father say. Memories came flooding back of her face, her voice, her grace. Up there amidst the dirt and dust, she came back to life that day. Close my eyes, I see her in the yard, picking tulips and apricots. The sweetest face with the kindest eyes, grateful for everything she's got. That fur coat, her new fur coat, with her initials sewn inside. That fur coat, her brown fur coat, that showed his love, her source of pride. Had 4 kids, poverty forewarned, her load would not be light. Brick house that he built for her only went so far to make things right. That fur coat, her new fur coat, with her initials sewn inside. That fur coat, her brown fur coat, that showed his love, her source of pride. Humble beginning, Midwest life. She dons her coat and she's a queen. Mother, grandmother, sister, and wife. To me she was already everything. Her skies grew day and the air grew stale. Storm clouds were moving in. That brick house went the way of so many dreams she'd kept within. That fur coat, her new fur coat, with her initials sewn inside. That fur coat, her own fur coat, that showed his love, her source of pride. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That was great. Poignant song. It's nice. So, how did you know your grandmother well?
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
actually.
So you got to know her for growing up and everything.
Yeah, she was always kind of special. And when I was born, my mom was really sick and had to stay in the hospital for a few weeks, and my grandmother took care of me. So we always had that kind of special bond.
That's great. Do you have siblings as well?
I have a sister.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, and do you see her? Is she out here?
No,
or-
she lives in Colorado, so I only see her every few years or so.
Yeah.
She has a nonprofit for feral cats, so she's very busy.
Yeah, you guys have a few animals, you said.
We do.
Yeah. What do you got?
We have a cat named Fernando and 2 budgies, Tyngo and Coconut.
Yeah. The budgies make a lot of noise.
Oh, yeah.
They
Yeah.
do.
Oh, yeah.
They do.
Yeah. And so your cat, the outdoor kind, you can just roam around the neighborhood?
He's supervised, but he does go outside, and just when we're home and during the day.
Yeah.
He was a rescue from right here in Lowell, at the Lowell Humane
really?
Society.
Yeah.
That's great. And you've always liked animals?
Yeah, I have. We always had dogs growing up. I know Tony's always had pets growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Cats and dogs and fish.
Fish don't qualify.
Fish count.
They
Pets.
do. They do. I had a really great fish. It was a red-capped oranda. If you ever had a red-capped oranda, they have personality.
They did. We had
'cause-
one as well.
Yeah, you had one of those. They die a lot, though.
Yeah,
They-
they tend to
not,
do that.
They're not very strong, but they have that little red hat, and it's great.
We had one named Charlie, and I remembered it was one of our first fish. We had the red cap, and we had a bubble eye goldfish, and both of them would come to the top of the tank and liked you to rub the top of their head. So the red cap, he liked his head rubbed. I don't know. At least that's what we told ourselves when we were kids.
Yeah, maybe he didn't like it. So
Maybe he
much.
didn't. He always came to the top, but maybe that was just because he thought he was getting food. So
Yeah, well, I think they count. I think you can count that.
I think so.
And do you guys have any songs about that? About pets or
We don't.
animals?
We don't have any
Oh.
songs about pets.
Well, there's
I
your
don't think.
idea for your
Yeah,
next song.
Maybe.
There it is. All My Pets by Penny Hart.
Be a long song.
I've had a lot of cats over my life.
The 9 Lives of My 9 Cats. Something like that. So where do you guys usually play?
Wherever will take us.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, I mean, we've been pretty fortunate that we've been able to do some traveling with our playing. We've had a few shows down in New Jersey. We just recently were selected for the Folk DJ Showcase at Folk Alliance in the Midwest.
Mm-hmm.
We were chosen by Wanda Fischer from the Albany, New York area to represent her in the Folk DJ Showcase in Grand Rapids, Michigan. So that was a pretty big
Cool.
honor for us. We opened for Vance Gilbert down in just north of Atlantic City, New Jersey. Played our good friend Davey O. We played his songwriter series out near Buffalo, New York. So
Yeah. So you guys, you said before the show, you said something about how Vance Gilbert's been helping you a bit. You took some classes with him, or
He was, we originally went to him for performance, and we did that for probably a couple of months, and then he said, "You're good." And so we started working on songwriting, and we worked with him for about 4 years. We were going a couple of times a month, and then it got to be about once a month, and worked with him for quite a few years for songwriting.
Mm-hmm. And so how did you get in touch with him?
Well, he's out on social media. I knew of Vance when I worked at the Freight and Salvage in California. He performed there pretty much, I think, once a year. And so when I moved here and he was living here, I was like, wow, that's cool. And he was always, he said on Facebook that he coached people. So we just got in touch with him through Facebook and set it up.
You ever go back to San Francisco to play there?
I have not been back, sadly.
You should.
We need to do that.
That'd
We
be cool.
do. I know. I go visit my parents every year instead, so.
You got to, do your salvage and stuff.
Yeah.
Actually, me and Penny met online, and our first date was me flying out to California. And we played the open mic at the Freight and Salvage together.
Wow, romantic.
I think so.
It's romantic for this audience.
I thought it was pretty cool.
And a good friend of mine runs the open mic now out there, so it's pretty neat.
You still play open mics?
Once
We
in a
do.
while.
We
yeah.
do.
I think it's a good way for us to try out new material and, work on playing in front of an audience and all those things that keep our skills sharp.
Yeah. When you're not up in the plane. Yeah.
When I'm not up in the plane.
Yeah, we played the open mic here right before we went to Michigan for the farm showcase because we hadn't had a performance in a while, and so I said we need to get out and
Right.
do something. So we came here on a Tuesday night and played the open mic.
Good. That's what it's here for.
It was
Yeah.
fun.
It's always a good crowd here.
And do you go up on the plane with him?
No. When he gets 2 engines, I will consider it.
So this is a single engine prop plane?
Yeah, that's what I fly now.
I don't like to fly, period. So.
Yeah.
She's not a fan of airplanes like I am.
Well, so I guess actually if we offered people at the hearing room the opportunity to go up in a plane with you, then some might say, well, that's a reason I don't want to be a member, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
He's a good pilot, so don't go by me.
Yeah. Well, obviously, I mean, if you're working for the industry, have to have done something that vaguely qualifies you to fly a plane,
Yeah.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I spend a lot of my off time reading about aviation, and it's just like music. It's something where you're always learning new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So my 2 loves are music and aviation, so I feel pretty lucky.
Yeah, so you build paper airplanes too?
I used to. I
Yeah.
had a book of like 30 different paper airplanes you can build, and I built them all.
Yeah, it makes sense. But can you explain why they fly the way they do?
I can,
Okay,
but
you don't want to.
I don't think that's. I don't think the audience is interested in that.
No, not this audience. But so why don't you guys do another song? What else do you have that can be new, old, otherwise?
Let's do Hourglass.
Yeah, we'll do an old one. This one is called Hourglass. It's off of our first CD.
Mm-hmm.
And this song Penny wrote about our neighbor. When we first moved to Tyngsboro, we had neighbors on the left side of our house that were super friendly. And as the months went on, we saw some kind of strange behavior from the wife, and come to find out she was dealing with dementia and Alzheimer's disease.
Mm-hmm.
So the song's just kind of a tribute to that, and just kind of about their family. And
Even though a lot of this is made up, because I didn't know them that well.
Mm-hmm.
And he has since passed away a couple of years ago. So
Okay.
another sad song. Sorry about that.
yeah.
As he walks through the doorway, he turns to remind her to bring her umbrella, 'cause the weatherman says rain, because she's always forgetting things she should remember, like her bag, her funny hat, and that silver keyed chain. Thoughts go drifting back. The first time he saw her, can't believe it's been 16 Snapshots of memories in the hourglass of time, like grains of sand that slipping through her fingers and her mind, sifting through the reasons, trying to find the rhyme. Turn it over a second time. Married her and they raised a family, tiny acorns that grew to tall oak trees and were swept away on a summer breeze, fleeting shadows one by one, and hand in hand they'd stand and look upon faded grass on the old front lawn, trodden by children, played from early dawn till the street lights came on. The years flew past as they're wont to do. He grew older and she did too. Fragile flower, fading colors, just awaiting the coming frost. Snapshots of memories in the hourglass of time, like grains of sand that slipping through her fingers and her mind, sifting through the reasons, trying to find the rhyme. Turn it over a second time. Snapshots of memories in the hourglass of time, like grains of sand that slipping through her fingers and her mind, sifting through the reasons, trying to find the rhyme. Turn it over a second time. Turn it over a second time. And as he walks through the doorway, he turns to remind her to bring her umbrella, 'cause it sure looks like rain.
Thank you.
Very nice. So, I like that line at the end about the umbrella. It sure looks like rain. Yeah,
Thanks.
that's nice. So, do you have any happy songs? or lighthearted at least?
What are you pointing at? Oh, cherish this day. Oh, we can do that.
Okay, let's do that.
All right.
You can do a sad song after, I promise.
Okay. Okay.
It's folk music. I know that's a thing. At my open mic, I don't know. I'd say it's about 90% sad songs, and then people throw in a nice one, a happy one after.
Well, I remember one of the DJs at NERFA telling all the songwriters there, I wish you guys would stop writing stuff about snow. Like, we're in New England, you know? That's what we do.
This one was a summertime song that Penny had written on our way back from Falcon Ridge Folk Festival in New York.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Tony likes me to be in tune.
Why? That's silly.
It's not just me.
Tony,
I'm not the only one.
what's this thing called tuning? I don't understand.
All right. This is called Cherish This Day. Can't get much more cheerful than that.
Okay, good.
1, 2, 3. Walk me down the garden path where sunlight spills across the meadow. Pink asters sway in tall grass, and the red-winged blackbird sings her song. Amble down the old dirt road where stately elms stand beside the river. Bare leaves dance in summer's close, and we joyously sing our song. Cherish this day, cherish this day, cherish this day, cherish this day. Sail me down the clear blue stream where turtles sun on the bullhead lilies, and herons glide on the eastern breeze, and we sing our song. Cherish this day, cherish this day, cherish this day, cherish this day. Rolling through the Berkshire hills, sunflowers bloom in fields of plenty. Summer dons her finest frills, and the red-winged blackbird sings. Cherish this day, cherish this day, cherish this day, cherish this day.
That was happy.
I don't think I quite achieved perfect tuning, but
That's
close.
Sounded good. So, what inspired that?
it was just coming home from Falcon Ridge. I don't know if you've ever been, but it's a very happy time. Everybody loves being there, and it's summer, and it's really nice and pretty out there, and just coming home through the Berkshire Hills, and I came home and just started writing that song.
Yeah. Sounds like you were happy at that point.
I was.
For sure.
It was a really nice weekend. The weather was
Yeah.
perfect, and driving through, when you take the Pike West and you're out by where the lake is, right in the middle of the Berkshires, and it was just beautiful. There was flowers there and everything, and it was just that's the vision I picture when I hear that song.
Well, makes sense. It was inspired by
Yeah,
that. So
yeah.
that's good. Reminds me of the James Taylor thing where he goes, "Sweet baby James does so is the turnpike from Stockbridge to Boston."
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
And the Berkshires seem dreamlike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool to go to, what's that place? I'm sorry. Tanglewood, and see James Taylor sing that song there.
Yeah.
It was really neat.
The loud roar from the crowd when they sang that part about the turnpike.
Yeah, right.
So, what do you guys have coming up besides the hearing room? Are you doing any recording coming up?
Well, I hope so. I'd like to get the 2 new songs recorded. We have one song recorded that we did a few months ago in preparation for a new album or an EP or whatever we do. So hopefully we'll get those recorded in the next couple of months.
And that's Eric Kilburn,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that
He-
Wellspring Sound?
Wellspring Sound.
Mhm.
Okay. And you guys have done how many albums?
2.
2.
Mm-hmm.
And they're both available on... or
Everything.
If you want the actual physical album, you can get them on our website, Folkapotamus.com, or on cdbaby.com. But as far as purchasing, streams or MP3s or pretty much any place, iTunes.
Yeah, all the usual suspects.
All the usuals. Any place that sells the streaming stuff, we're on there.
Okay, cool. And you, what are your albums called, by the way?
The first one is called Whispered Words, and we put that out in 2014. And the second one is called Middle of Nowhere, and we put that out in 2017.
And do you have any secret solo albums you came out with in 2000 or something like that?
No secret solo
No.
albums.
Okay. Or no ska albums? And
He's got some stuff.
I got stuff, but nothing that you can find anywhere.
used record store somewhere.
Yeah, maybe.
So, so toward the end of the show, I do like to ask everybody what their advice is for other musicians who are doing stuff. What you would give them as, somebody who's been in music for a while and has done a lot of different things. What would you advise other people to do getting started?
Well, I think there's a lot of mentorship that goes along with the music industry. So for us, the other musicians we've met along the way have been great help, a great help in, whether it's booking shows, questions on music, questions on instruments. So one thing about New England is that there's a really large music community that's all super helpful, especially in the acoustic folk world. So I would say get on those Facebook groups and stuff like that, and go out to open mics. There's always people that are there to lend an ear or answer a question. Do what you love. Don't get caught up in the money side of
because it's not there.
Doing this. Yeah, like our good friend Vance Gilbert always says, is that there's hundreds of dollars to be made in folk music. So,
and he was definitely a mentor for us, but he gave us that advice, is to meet other musicians. When we were going to our first NERFA, I said, who should we talk to? He said, make friends with the other musicians. That's who you want to get to know. So that's always been good advice for us.
Yeah. Well, so I know you prepared like 13 songs. Can you narrow it down to 2 maybe and do a couple for us toward the end here?
Sure.
You're picking.
Why am I picking?
Because you're the songwriter.
Oh, yeah, that's true. But he has a say in some things. Okay. Okay, Tony wants to do the song I wrote about his mom. So
okay.
We can do that. Do you want to say something about it?
Yeah, this is this one's called Dear Rose. It's my mom passed away in 2008 after a battle with cancer, and this song's kind of a letter to my mom from Penny about just what Penny wasn't around, didn't move out here, and wasn't around to really get to know my mom very well. So this is just kind of a letter to her saying, hey, everything's good.
You raised a good son, basically. Okay. This is called Dear Rose. Dear Rose, he's doing well. Your best work, as far as I can tell. Dear You raised him right, then sent him on his way. Dear Rose, time flies so fast. 'Twas just a babe held within your grasp. Dear Rose, dear Rose, he's got your chin, that famous nose, and your charming grin. Dear Rose, when he gets down, he picks himself up. He learned to stand his ground. Hey Rose, here's the best part. You share the tenderest and softest heart. Dear Rose, it seems he has your temperament, your humor, and New England ways. I know he's... Shoot, I always forget this line. Let's try that again. It seems he has your temperament, your humor, and New England ways. I know your memory always helps him through the stalls and darker days. Dear Rose, I had 4 cats. He didn't blink, ever the diplomat. Dear Rose, now that they're gone, he lends me his shoulder that I can cry upon. And Rose, he misses them too, never quite as much as he misses you. Dear Rose, oh Rose, I wish we'd had more time before you had to move along. Guess I'll have to settle talking to you through this song. Hey Rose, here's the best part. You share the tenderest and softest heart. Dear Rose, dear Rose. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice. And she never got to hear that?
She did not.
No,
That's too bad. Maybe she did. You never know.
I think she hears it.
Yeah. So, one more.
One more.
One more to close it out.
All right, well, we already played our cheerful songs. So
Your one cheerful song. Okay.
Let's see.
do Still Standing.
Yeah. Either that or that.
Oh, Winter's Ballet.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's winter.
It is winter.
Last time I checked.
So we haven't played this for a really long time, and little tidbit. This is the first complete song I ever wrote, so it's pretty old. And I said to Tony I wanted to play this for the podcast, and he's like, I haven't played that in like a couple of years. So we had to work on it a little bit. But it's called Winter's Ballet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Midnight and I'm alone with you. The snow is softly falling. Embers are dying and the candles dim. Above the clouds the moon is crawling. Don't sleep. The wind through the pines is calling me. Catch your breath, let's creep outside. dawn of the morning will be stolen. Come on with me, we can dance outside. Join the snow pirouetting on this moonless night. Willows bow down as we waltz by and lay snow petals at our feet. Winter's ballet is now complete. Midnight and I'm alone with you. Guitars are softly strumming. Nightingales singing in 3/4 time. Mockingbird is calling. Stay with me. The night is young and open to see. What is now and forever will be a winter's ballet for you and for me. Come on with me, we can dance outside. Join the snow pirouetting on this moonless night. Willows bow down as we waltz by and lay snow petals at our feet. Winter's ballet is now complete. Midnight and I'm alone with you. The snow is softly falling. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys for coming.
No, thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
This was fun. And so you guys are going to be at the Hearing Room on February 28th at 8 p.m. with Eric Kilburn.
Yes.
And that'll be a great show. So everybody should keep an eye on our website, hearingroom.net, and you can find information about tickets. Also check out our Facebook page. And soon there will be a Facebook event where we can put a ticket link. So you can come to that show and hear Folkapotamus in person. You guys, I have to ask, do you have a hippopotamus logo somewhere?
We have a Folkapotamus logo that actually my sister, who is an artist, designed it for us, and that's on our website.
All right, we need to check that out.
Yeah.
So everybody check out the Folkapotamus logo.
It's like a guitar with a hippopotamus head or something.
Well, it's either the head or the butt, one of the two. You know,
Yeah, we went with the head.
Yeah, because both could work. You know.
I left it up to her. She's the artist, so.
And do you like hippopotami?
I guess so. Never met one.
You never
We
met
don't
one?
have anything against them.
Yeah. Well, I think you guys need to learn this song I heard once called Mud. It's about a hippopotamus and his true love. So check that out when you get a chance.
We'll have to check that out.
It's called Mud. I don't know who wrote it. It's actually in the Rise Up Singing book, though. So
Oh, maybe we'll put that into our song list.
yeah, I think
February
you should.
28th.
Yeah. So thank you very much for coming,
Thank
and we will see you soon. We are going to have Kim Moberg. Excuse me. Her show will be on Thursday this week. Kim Moberg is a local singer-songwriter out of Cape Cod. So, and she's got some interesting stuff too. And Folkapotamus has been who you were listening to for this episode. And they will be here at the Hearing Room live on February 28th at 8 p.m. I'm Aaron Tornberg, and check hearingroom.net for more information about shows and membership. Also, check out the Greenville Junction Shop, JUNKTIONSHOPPE, the Greenville Junction Shop, where you can do upcycling and participate in the world of environmental sustainability. So check that out and have a great week.
If you start with a dream and share it with some friends, the idea deepens and grows. The dream takes shape, it has form and substance, a community soon arose. A listening room, the hearing room, a place to find a home to play. A listening room, the hearing room, express yourself and have your say. The walls are thin, sirens